When I got my job in 1983, about 3 months after I got this job, and let me tell you, everything was new to me. I didn't know exactly what my job was. And so I had to learn, and I had smart people around me helping me. But in this particular instance, there were a bunch of community people who had gotten so angry at the Office of Fine Arts about a piece of artwork that was going to be in a library. And this was a library where they had a beautiful wall, and we have a public art program. And so we had hired an artist, this was before I got my job, to do an piece of art on the wall of the library. And it was all about language and words and stuff. And so the people looked at it, and they thought it was like graffiti. And they were saying, why would the city of Chicago allow an artist to put graffiti on the wall? But in fact, it was more about telling stories and words and language, but they were not hearing it. So they insisted that I meet before them along with my public art person and explain to them how this got done and why they weren't involved, and they were just angry at me. So the night before I was to meet with the community people, I get a telephone call at home, and my husband answers the phone, and he says, "It's a reporter. Don't talk to her." I said, "No, not a good idea." I said, "Well, I'll just maybe say a couple things. I'll just listen." Half an hour later, talking to the reporter, who was asking me, "The city stopped the project. They pulled the artist off the project. What are you thinking about that? I know you have a meeting with the community tomorrow, and you're supposed to listen to them." And I said, "Come hell or high water, that artist is going back to work." Click, my husband says, "Bad, bad, bad." The next day, guess what's in the newspaper? The executive director of the Chicago Office of Fine Arts is quoted as saying, "Come hell or high water, the artist is going back to work." I go to the office. My staff is like, "Madeline, did you really say that? Was that a good idea? You got to meet with the community. You're supposed to be listening." I said, "Yes, I said it." We go to the meeting. They're back and forth, "We weren't involved in the process. How could you allow something like this to be put on the walls?" Blah, blah, blah. The mayor's office is calling me. "Mrs. Rabb, what are you going to do about that project? This is disruptive. Can't you just paint it over? Get rid of it. Make it go away." So I sit there and I listen and I respond. And so finally I said to myself, they haven't said anything about that article that was in the paper this morning. Maybe they didn't read the paper. We go on. "Excuse me, Mrs. Rabb, are you accurate in saying that come hell or high water, the artist is going to go back to work when you're actually supposed to be listening to us?" I said, "Absolutely. That's exactly what I said, because that's what I believe." Well, the meeting ended. Someone came up to me and they said, "Hello, Mrs. Rabb. I'm the reporter who interviewed you." She said, "If you had said that I had misquoted you, you were going to be in deep trouble. But you told the truth, so you're all right." Long story short, we won the battle. We helped to change the process so that more people were included. We increased the budget for the art program. But what it taught me was that the mayor didn't appoint me to be an okie-dokie person. And if I had said, "Shut it down, it's disruptive, it's causing controversy," the mayor would not have looked good. The art community would have been furious at him. And as a result, I think it helped educate the community, and it gave the artists courage to know that someone was there to support them. And she went on to do a beautiful project, and the community loves the art. That was a big highlight.